Well, hello and welcome to a very special broadcast tonight. This is the WFO Racing League's Tim McBrayer Memorial Race right here at Charlotte. I know Charlotte was one of Tim's favorite tracks. And we lost our buddy Tim a while back. And every year we're going to make sure that we have a race to honor Tim McBrayer and what he meant to so many over here at WFO Racing. I could go into it, but I'm telling you, it would be hours and hours of stories. It really would, and we just want to put this race on here tonight in his honor, in a memorial race for Tim, and that's what we're here to do. So welcome to the WFO Racing Network on YouTube. Welcome to the WFO Racing League on iRacing. And we're going to have a 100-lap memorial race for Tim McBrayer here tonight. And we are going to do it live at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the ARCA car and with some of the guys who didn't have to work and could make it over here in the league here and race tonight. We want to thank each and every one of them who come out here. And we're going to have fun with it, but we're all during the race, and at the end of the race, we know why we're here tonight. We ended the league regular season last week. You can see the cars taking the grid right now. We don't have a ton of them, but we got some of them. And it was open to all of WFO league members, whether they've raced in the super late model here, if they were just in the WFO Racing League portal, or whichever one of the four portals they were in on iRacing. They were welcome to come in and race in this in Tim's honor. And we're going to have a mandatory caution at lap 25 tonight. That was Tim's car number. So at lap 25, we're going to have a mandatory caution. They're going to do a 4-wide salute. And that's what the drivers are going to do. I think Nation's sleeping. So if one of you have got Nation's phone number, you might want to start calling that fella and get him up, because I know he didn't want to miss this one. And we got the guys going out and pacing while they're doing that. Let's take a look at our starting grid. Starting on the pole tonight, we don't see him much, but we've seen him some. That's going to be the 46 of Ryan Libby. To his outside in second, that's a familiar name, Richard Holland in the 31. Starting third is going to be that number 14 of Jeff Martin. Into his outside and fourth will be the 84 of Brandon Winning. Starting fifth, we're going to have Derek Robinson's number 38. Into his outside and sixth, going to be WFO's most popular driver most of the time. Although I think this season he shared that honor quite a bit. But he's still one of the most well-known over here, and one of the, well, I'll get to the story later. We'll get to at some point in this race on how me and Hal met to start WFO Racing a few years back now, and it had to do with the guy we're honoring tonight. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Starting seventh is going to be the number 8 of Steve Blankenship into his outside, and eighth, that's going to be Michael McCauley in the 81. Almost mixed him up for the twin there, Macaulay Culkin, but it's Michael McCullough in the 81 tonight. Start ninth is going to be the 27 of Tyler O'Brien. In his outside and 10th is going to be that number 29 of Jacob Miracle. And starting 11th will be Rick Vagone in the 10, and we are going green flag here. Nope, we've gone green flag racing at Charlotte for the WFO Racing League special Tim McBrayer Memorial Race tonight. 100 laps at Charlotte, mandatory caution on lap 25, and we're green flagging racing. Ryan Libby in the number 46 showing the way around. The number 31 right there, Richard Holland, hot on his bumper. Oh, and contact. The 46 is going the wrong way. Looked like the 38 maybe got a little bit of that, but the 46 is going to end up in the wrong direction. And that's probably not how we needed to start off the race, but we got caution number 1 quickly right here. These guys have to get settled down a bit. Might take them a few laps. I think I kicked myself out of Discord accidentally. There we go. Not sure how I did that, but I did it. So our leader went around, and that was the 38, the blue car I seen, Derek Robinson, that got a piece of that action. And you hate to see it, but it happened. Guys filling the car out here at Charlotte. I don't know if we ran this in the regular season. I think we might have done the Roval, but we may have done Charlotte. I have to go back and look at the schedule to be 110% sure. Nope, actually we didn't do this in the regular season, so it is good to be able to do this, and we do know it was one of Tim's favorite tracks. I'm thinking of all the great stories, memories I could give some of the viewers here about Tim, and I guess to sum one of them, one of the stories up is Hal and I, who started WFO Racing League together. I don't know. It must have been sometime in 2017, but we met through Tim McBrayer. It was Tim the Trucking Legend on YouTube. You can still find his channel there, and every once in a while those streams will pop up on my YouTube, and it just takes me back to all the years that I've known him and spent time with him on iRacing and even in other leagues, and being a teammate to him for a while, and just being a good friend with him for a long time. And it's a hell of a void to try to feel when you lose somebody that really, and people say, well, it was an online friend. Well, some of these online friends I have are like family to me. And I think a lot of you that watch the broadcast week in and week out know that we're kind of like a big extended family that doesn't get along 110% of the time, but we do our best, and we always keep things in a positive direction, and that's what we've always tried to do. But I think part of that I learned from Tim himself. The guy had a great outlook and a great attitude on everything, and anytime I would get in one of my little moods, he would always talk me off the cliff. I miss that. I really do. I mean, that's one of the things that I really miss about him, and I know that there's other guys here that, like Hal, Amy, that spent a lot of time with him. Nation, another one that spent time with him on his streams, and even people that are part of other leagues. And he broadcasted with Joe White at OSRN a lot, and they were close. There's a lot of people that he did, and even if some of us guys don't talk, it doesn't mean that we absolutely hate each other. And at this time of year, we should probably even come together a little bit in Tim's honor. I mean, he'd really love to see that. Pace car's in. We're back at Green Flag Racing, and I'll rattle on about that more and tell you guys more stories about it. It's going to be a lot of stories tonight, but we do have a race to broadcast as well. You see the 31 of Richard Holland going to get back out front. He's got the 14 of Jeff Martin behind him. And that 3 car right there, look at the paint scheme on that car. You're going to see more than one of those cars sporting that Tim McBrayer Trucking paint. And the 3 car is one of them, that red and white paint scheme on it. We'll get a little bit closer look at the logos. Yeah, that's the YouTube logo. There we go. There's a big logo on the hood, and I believe it was Nation that initially made this paint scheme right here. And he made it for Tim when Tim drove the 25 over here. I'm pretty sure this is the same one he made for him, or very similar to. So right now, that McBrayer Trucking number 3 is currently sitting in the top 5. He does got a little bit of pressure from Blankenship in the 8 behind him, but looks like he's able to hold him off on the straightaway real well here. And then the other McBrayer trucking car is going to be right here. That's going to be the 81 of Michael McCauley. So McCauley is also running the special paint scheme here. And I know when we come up to lap 25, there's going to be a mandatory caution in Tim McBrayer's honor. And we're going to do that, but I'm going to get to some funny stories. I don't want this to all be sad because Tim wouldn't have wanted it to be that way, so I'm not going to do that. We're gonna do some of the funnier moments, and I think you'll get a kick out of some of these stories. If you didn't know him, he was just a joy to be around. We had some very funny moments through all the time, and when he first started streaming. We're watching Fagone right now in the 10, battling side by side with the 8 of Steve Blankenship. And you see Ryan Libby making a rebound in the 46 cars. He's moving in on this battle. So I think Libby might be looking to pick some spots up after starting P1 in the race tonight. Libby started P1, had a little bit of problems, ended up going backwards, and you see he's working on the 10 car of Enrique right there. Libby's going to go around Enrique. I'm telling you, my timing and scoring was scrambled around worse than a Jimmy Dean scramble breakfast. I had to go ahead and restart that thing because I didn't know what Libby was passing for in the 46, but he's passed now the 8 car Steve Blankenship, and that was for the 6th position. So that 46 started up front. He spun out, and he's on a mission to get back to the front right now. Hopefully the audio's working all right. I didn't have a lot of time on the settings on this one. I expect a lot of green flag racing right here. You see the 31 of Richard Holland leading away, but he's only got about a half a second right now in that number 14 of Jeff Martin. So Martin back here in the 14 car in P2. P3 right now is going to be the number 38 of Derek Robinson. So far, 12 laps in, Robinson having a great run here at Charlotte in the ARCA car. Working through 3 and 4 right now, I believe, is the 38 coming up to the start-finish line in the middle of the tri-oval. That'll complete lap 12 for him. Got Brandon winning right here in the 84 in the 4th position. And back in 5th, Hal Lamy has got company. He's got a battle with the 46 of Ryan Libby, who's looking to the inside. Libby's got the 46 car down on the bottom. This is going to be for the number 5 spot. Libby shoots to the bottom in the 46. He's going to take the spot away from Hal. Move Hal back to the 6th position. You see the 3 car Hal going to fall right in line, about a car length back right here. Cars have got single filed out, so we got about 11 laps before we do our mandatory caution here at Charlotte. And we're going to continue through the field as we go back to the 7th place car. That's the Tide Ride, the number 10, Enrique Rick Fagone. So Fagone in the 10, Blankenship back behind him right there, running 8th in the 8 car. And back in 9th, we showed him before, that's going to be the number 81 right there, Michael McCauley, running the McBrayer truck and paint in honor of Tim McBrayer here. Tim, the farming legend, Tim, the trucking legend on YouTube. There's the 29 right there, Jacob Miracle, making a start here tonight at Charlotte. Miracle running up behind the 81. That will be for the 9th position when they start battling for it. And then our last car to start is going to be that number 27 right there, Tyler O'Brien. O'Brien currently scored in the 11th position. I got some new updates to my timing and scoring screen, and I'm kind of digging it. It shows me the tires, which is pretty cool. So I got the incidents and all that, but I'm looking at the tires, qualifying tires. It's crazy, but it still shows the stint as well. These guys have ran 17 laps, exactly what the counter shows on the timing and scoring. I do want to thank everyone that's taken the time so far to join the stream. We appreciate it, every bit of it, actually. And if you want to comment or say anything in the comment section, you're more than welcome to. I know I promised some stories about Tim McBrayer, and I have really we scheduled this race, and I didn't put a lot of pre-notice out for it when I should have probably. We ended our season last week, so the season ended, quite close to it. And then I have a Thursday night obligation that I work on stuff for. But long story short, I'm thinking of funny stories. So Tim, in his 60s at the time this happened, but he wanted to get into streaming. And this is hilarious. He wanted to get into streaming on YouTube, and his reason for doing it was really a great reason, and it was a noble one. He told me, I asked him what he wanted to do it for. And when he told me what he told me, it really hits you, and it touches your heart. He said, I want my grandkids to have something to go back to and watch so they can remember me by it. And I think when you're a lot younger and you don't think that way, it's one thing. But for Tim to think that way and to look out and leave something behind of him, and it was his love for gaming, really. I mean, his love for not just iRacing, but he was known as Tim the trucking legend and Tim the farming legend. So getting back to my story, he wanted to get into streaming to do that, and his computer was basically a potato. So I spent I don't know how many hours looking up parts for him, and he was retired and he was on a fixed income, so he had to do the stuff on a budget. And we spent hours, and I said, here, get this part and get this graphics card, and I'm going to talk you through it. When you get those parts, I want you to call me on my phone, and I give him my phone number. And I said, I'll talk you through putting these parts in there. So it took him and I together quite a bit of time. But we got his computer up and running and capable of streaming on YouTube. And that's what he did. That was the beginning of Tim the trucking legend and Tim the farming legend. And it was I think it was Don Kidder that told me, he said, man, the patience, it's something about the patience that I had to be able to talk a 60-some-year-old man into how to do that was incredible. And that was Tim. It really was, and it was Tim in a nutshell. And the stories get better than that, and they get a little bit funnier. But we got his computer up and running, and that's how Tim the Trucking Legend was born on YouTube and Twitch or anything else he wanted to stream on, whether it be Facebook or whatnot. But that guy spent countless hours doing that, and he got to make plenty of videos, and I actually believe he got in touch with his granddaughters again through YouTube. So that's when things kind of come around full circle a few years back. And we're under caution again. That's our 25-lap mandatory caution for Tim McBrayer and the Tim McBrayer Memorial Race here tonight. So we got a mandatory caution right here on lap 25. Richard Holland is your race leader. And I know I said it before, but if you didn't hear me, the lap 25 is remembering car number 25, which was Tim McBraye's car number. So we're going to take a moment of silence here in honor of our fallen friend, Tim McBrayer. All right, I believe the guys are going to be bringing you the 3-wide salute right here. I think they're kind of doing it in the missing man formation right there, which is cool. But all this is to honor our fallen friend, Tim McBrayer, Tim the trucking legend, Tim the farming legend. They're going to hold the green flag off right here. Guys getting it worked out right there. Didn't have a separate admin for this race, so I believe Hal Lamey's working the controls in here. You see Hal right there in the McBrayer Trucking 3 car. Gone too soon, Tim. Gone too soon, buddy. You see both those McBrayer trucking cars, the 81 and the 3. Want to thank both those drivers for those paint jobs tonight. Want to thank Nation 01 if he was in here. I think that feller's sleeping. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to be getting back to green flag racing right here. In the Tim the Truckin' Legend, Tim McBrayer Memorial Race. Thank you for joining the broadcast tonight, joining the stream. We appreciate all the views. any like that we can get, we appreciate that as well. But getting back to the early days of Tim streaming, getting his computer together where it could do it. And it took some time, but we talked him. I talked him through that install, how to get those drivers installed and all the hardware installed, and it was a processor change as well, so it made it a little complicated. But we got him up and running, and the rest is history, really. I mean, as far as his YouTube channel went. But I met actually my partner at WFO through Tim streams, and that's Hal Amy. And I believe that's also how we met Nation 01. So, Gamer is another one who we call Gamer. He was another one that met us that way through here, and kind of a whole network of people, really. 31 of Richard Holland's going to waste no time on that restart right there, though. Jump out to about a 5 or 6 car length lead over Jeff Martin in the 14. 84 right there. Brandon Winning coming into the picture. Now Enrique in the 10 car is starting to turn the heat up a bit. You see Enrique closing in on the 14 and the 84. That's going to be second and third place right ahead of him. Enrique sitting back in fourth. Hal Amy back in the fifth spot again. So that McBrayer truck and 3 car back to the 5 spot. He's got the 8 car of Steve Blankenship right behind him. This pack right here went single file once more. We had a quick caution early on lap 2. The second caution was the mandatory lap 25 caution. And now we're back to green flag racing. It has single filed out a little bit. And I think we've got one driver disconnected. That's going to be the 46 of Ryan Libby. Going to get on board with that McBrayer truck and 3 car right here, Hal Amy. Pull up our onboard a little bit. Looks like the car's getting a little bit loose right off of turn 4 right there. We'll have to see how it is through 1 and 2. Hal looking underneath that 10 car of Enrique. I believe we're under caution. We're going to have to see what happened here. All right, I think we may have found it. And in that fitting, we're going to burn it down right here with what? Fire! That's right, we're going to bring the fire out one more time. We're going to find out what happened to the 38, and I'll tell you, he's going the wrong way. But why he's going the wrong way, we'll have to back it up just a little bit. I think he might have got help going the wrong way. He might have had help turning around there. Let's take a little closer view at it. So right here, watching the 8. Oh, no, 38 got into the wall, the outside wall coming off the corner there, and the 8 was got to the back of him a little bit. Man, you can see how realistic that damage is now. Look at his bumper cover hanging off. So knocked the guy's bumper cover loose. That's pretty realistic right there. Contact with the outside wall, though, did a lot of damage on the right side of the car. So Blankenship got caught up in it a little bit. And that's going to be caution number 3 on lap 34 right here. Only 2 cautions, though, caused by incidents on the racetrack. And we got some guys that are going to take it to pit road. 38 right there, going to be one of those cars that are probably going to take it to pit road for obvious reasons. And we're going to get back to funny stories. So as our friend Tim started gaining subscribers on YouTube and viewers and friends that were watching him, and I believe he even may have had his family tuning in at that point, he decided that he wanted to do green screening. And I think a lot of you probably know what green screening is, but green screen, you have to have a background, and you have to have a lot of lighting. This is where the story gets funny. So he told me he wanted to do that green screen, and I'd never done it before. And I started looking into it, and reading it, studio lighting and green screening and how they get that effect. But basically, if you watch any streamer and it looks like you can see the streamer, but it looks like they're in the game, that's because their background is blacked out from a green screen. So I looked at how to do that, and I realized it included lighting and, a background, like a green background. So you can use a sheet or anything, really. You paint it green or a piece of plastic or anything, just hang it behind you. And you can filter out your background, and basically you look like you're in the stream. So we talk about this for a couple of nights, and I go searching for a studio lighting kit and the stuff to do that on eBay for them. And I found one. So I linked it to him, and I said, if you want a green screen, then you probably need to order a kit like this and get it set up. So he did it. And he got that kit in. It got shipped to him, and he got the kit in. And he talked to me, and we talked about setting it up, and I'm like, try this way, and then we got it set up in his OBS. And Garrett Robinson, wish Garrett Robinson was in here. He was a great kid, and Tim treated him like his grandson. He really did. But Garrett would go into his computer remotely and set some of that up. So we got his green screen working for him, and man, he was excited. And he's streaming with his green screen on, and he's in the truck. When you looked at his stream, I mean, he's in the truck, right? So he was happy, and I noticed that he kept wiping his head after a while, and I'm like, what is he doing? And he'd wipe his head, and he was pouring sweat. And he kept saying, whew, it's hot in here. And keep in mind it's the middle of winter, and was in Warrior, Alabama. So it was the middle of winter, and I said, Tim, isn't it like 30 degrees outside or 20-something? It's cold. How are you sweating? He said, I don't know, but I'm sweating. I said, Tim, what's the wattage on those light bulbs? And he told me those bulbs were like 2,500 watts. So that poor feller was literally on his green screen sitting on the surface of the sun, basically. And he was pouring sweat over it when it was like 20 degrees outside. I said, dude, you're going to have to get some softer light bulbs. I said, that right there probably turn your meter into a Frisbee. Those things got to be, I don't think street lights are that many watts, I said. But I'm pretty sure they seen Tim's house from the International Space Station when he done that. He had a lot of lighting going on. But that was how Tim was. I mean, we have so many great memories of different nights, and I spent a lot of time with him, even on his streams, especially in the early days. So, yeah, I think it's good to share some of these stories. Pace car's in. We're back to green flag racing. I do got to pay attention to the race. We're 37 of 100 laps. I'll tell you what, that 31 looks like he shot out of a cannon on the restarts. This may, in fact, be a feller on a mission here, Richard Holland. Holland is always fast in the regular seasons. I think 3 or 4 wins in this ARCA car this past season for Holland. We'll count them. There's 1, 2. He had a couple wins this past season. I'm probably thinking of the truck series. We'll look at that too, because I know he had some there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he had 4 wins in the truck series and 2 in the ARCA, but no surprise to see that 31 out there leading the way in this Tim McBrayer Memorial race right here. Hopefully you like the stories, but, oh man, what do we got going on here? Oh, right there. Caution flag. So, you know what time that is. Burn it down time. Fire! Right here. Burn it down with fire. We got to see what happened that got the 29 headed the wrong direction. Oh, it involved the 8 car. A little bit closer view. Paying attention to that Mop Motorsports car right there, the number 29 of Jacob Miracle. He got loose, and then he got help getting loose. And that put the 29 around. The 8 of Steve Blankenship gets caught up in this one again. So, man, I'll tell you what, Steve be a car link back, but he ain't got no luck following these guys right now, these past couple of cautions, as the field completes lap 40 right here at Charlotte. Man, there's several several really good stories. I was a admin in a series he raced in another league, and I had to penalize him for bringing out a caution one night, and I said, Tim, I said, I forgot what it was. I think he was passing under a yellow or something, and he got a black flag. I can't remember, but I called it out on the radio on iRacing what the penalty was for. And he said, "Excuse me, I was dead stick." He told me his engine was blown up is why he did it. It was funny. It was the little things and it was all the things. And went hours and hours of talking on those streams, just hours. And there would usually be 5 or 6 of us in there with him, and he was always trying to make sure that we minded our manners, no cussing on the stream. I'll never forget that. And when you get 5 or 6 guys together on a stream, I think the hardest thing in the world to do is keep those guys from cussing. So it happened, and Tim would he was just funny. You can go back and you can see those streams on his YouTube channel. I think it says Tim the Farming Legend on there. If I look at YouTube, it'll definitely tell me because it pops up there, and I get recommended on my recommended video list from time to time. So. Not from time to time, but most of the time. But in 2017, I believe that is when I talked to Hal Lamy for the first time. When Hal first joined iRacing. It was racing in a series that I ran at another league. And the rest is, as far as WFO getting started, everything was history from there. Him and I met. There were some things we wanted to do differently, and the only way we could do it differently was to basically do it on our own. So that was how WFO got started. And if it wasn't for Tim McBrayer, Hal and I would have never met. So that's how all of that went down. And again, the rest is history. History to the tune of 7 seasons that we've been together. Tim raced over here with us in the 25 car. Probably the first season or 2. And maybe come back for like season 3 or 4. I can't remember, but there was one of them he come back for. But he had broadcasting duties with someone else, broadcasting iRacing races. So I understood that, and I knew what he was doing. And I'm pretty sure that he was... before we lost him, that he was geared up to come back to WFO to do some stuff, and I think he was going to broadcast with me a little bit. And I would have loved to have that opportunity with him. All right. I don't know if people ain't chatting or if I'm not seeing the live chat or what's going on. Don't look like the live chat's even working for me. I'm not sure how I broke that tonight, but apparently I did. Apparently I broke the live chat. And we're back to green flag racing. The 81 Tim McBrayer trucking car of Michael McCauley is going to be your leader on lap 43. And I'm going to try this without crashing my whole goddamn system right here. Reactivating that shit. I have to turn that down. There's our live chat. I see it now. I had to pull it up on my phone. I don't know why it's not. Man, thank all of you for coming in here. I'm really sorry about that. And I want to say hey to all of you. I didn't see any of that because my live chat's not working on the YouTube stream. And I had to pull the phone up, and I'm going to go ahead and tell. All right, I think we might be back online here. I'll have to wait and see if all of it reconnects. I do apologize for that. We seem to have got disconnected there from the server and from OBS because I seemingly have knocked a cable loose on my connection. So we're gonna get this stream right back up for you. I do apologize for that. It's a long story, but I got my internet a little bit jacked up right now. I'm doing a little bit of maintenance and I don't have everything back together for it yet. So I'm using my phone as my internet connection. And if you've seen how it was set up, you would think I was some hacking genius, and I don't want to take credit for that because I obviously bumped my USB cable and knocked my whole damn connection offline. So that did happen, but we are going to get back in the server and we're going to bring this memorial race back to you live. I can't, for the love of God, wonder why I just did what I did, but I did it. I don't know. I think I had a Tim moment talking about those stories, and I think I had one there. God rest his soul. There's a ton of us that miss that feller, and we talk about it all the time. We still do. They say time will heal those wounds or fill those voids, and that's not true. Once those people get to your heart, man, they're always there. And Tim McBrayer will always be there. Those memories are always going to be there, and those stories, right, that I've been talking about the whole race will always be there. And just like that, we're going to get right back to the racing action here in Charlotte, and I'm going to pretend like none of it ever happened. We'll let the cars flash around a minute, get our trading paints refreshed right here. Everything's going to have to get refreshed. Just like we're starting brand new, we're going to help it out. There we go. We'll get this going out of the way and a couple other little changes here and get our overlays fired back up again. And I guess I'm going to have to open up another stream window on YouTube to be able to see the chat, so I'll get with that after I get all the overlays and stuff back. And again, I do want to apologize to everybody for that. But I have been doing some maintenance to my interweb system. And in that maintenance, I decided that my phone was the best thing to use tonight to be able to provide internet connection to my computer. And it's been working fine. The phone's plenty fast enough. The speed's fine. But when you have the phone plugged in with a USB cable, don't touch the phone. That's your lesson. Don't touch it. So we are back live, though, and that's the important thing. And we only missed a few laps there. We're on lap 54. It shows caution flag number 1, but we are under caution now. I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. So they are under caution, and we're going to pretend like we didn't miss a thing. However, your leader now is the 10 of Rick Fagone. And I'm going to try to do this a different way now. And I'm actually going to pull the stream up like I'm watching it. Flag number 1, but we got to turn that audio down. But it worked. It worked, and I can see the chat. So we're good to go now. I can see the chat. I ain't got to touch the damn phone. And Nation's got to get his ass out of bed. So if we could holler that real loud, maybe Nation will hear it. Bender, good to see you in the chat. Diana, thank you. Denise, thank you. Bill, thanks a lot, buddy. Hal Jr., good to see you in here. Jeremy Parker. We got to get you in the race car, Jeremy. Oh, Michael McCauley right there. He said he wrecked Jeff, so that's what we missed. Jeff got McCauley'd. He got Macaulay Culkin'd. So Enrique up front, going to choose the outside line right here. Rick Fagone on the bottom in the 31. And I think it's going to give me all my chat back, which is really cool. Maybe not all of it, but we'll pretend like it's all there. It's okay to pretend. Don't have to touch a phone no more to see what you say on YouTube. I knew something was wrong on the live stream. Usually the chat pulls up on it, and this time it didn't. So that, I thought that was slightly strange. 31, restarting on the bottom, is not the leader. He's in second. Enrique in the 10 is your leader. Pace car's in. Just over halfway, and Enrique is going to launch. Man, I mean, he took off and they were sleeping. Enrique checked out to an entirely different zip code. And he caught his teammate, Richard Holland, in the 31, and the rest of the field sleeping. You see that 31 leading a lot of laps tonight. Now he's going to be in the P2 spot as Enrique said, it's my turn. There's the 84, Brandon Winning, running in the 3 spot right there. Winning's got Jeff Martin in the 14 working his bumper. Jacob Miracle there in the 29, and Hal Amy in the number 3. The McBrayer Trucking number 3. And McCauley, he's back here in the A spot in the 81. And we're going to get back on the leader, that number 10 car of Enrique. He's got about a half a second right now on the 31. And don't worry, I'm not going to touch the phone or USB cables again. We're going to finish this stream off. I went half the race smooth, took a little bit of a break there at halftime, and we're going to go the other half of the race smooth, but we're going to look at a race back here, 14:84. Jeff Martin working the bottom of the track, trying to get around the 84. Brandon Winning. Winning's able to hold him off. Oh, look at Miracle right there in the 29 getting loose. Hal Amy going to pull up on his bumper. Man, that car must be loose because that's the second time I've seen the 29 get sideways in the middle of the corner. You see Hal Amy working on the back of that 29 car right now. Hal going to take a peek to the bottom as they're coming down here into turn 3. Miracle's going to give them room, move up the track a little bit. Hal's going to work right on the bottom, right on that blue and white line. Now he's going to check up a little bit on corner exit, but he's still going to get another look underneath the 29 right here. They're going to drive it off in turn 1, and the 3 car is going to drive it in a little deeper, wash up the track some. Man, that's good stuff right there. Like we never missed a beat. Enrique's got company, and that company looks like a teammate and a friend of his. And that's going to be the number 31 of Richard Holland. Holland working on the back of the 10, the Tide car. The 10 better watch out. Or not the 10, but the 31 better watch out. The 10 will start dropping Tide Pods out of that trunk. That feller be in trouble then. Fagone has the lead in the 10. 31, Richard Holland wants it. What do you do when you're leading and your teammate wants it? Well, I'll tell you what you do. You race them harder than you'd race anyone else in the field. 62 of 100 laps complete. And Nation is missing in action. He may, hi Adriana, welcome to the stream. He may not be sleeping. I'm betting Nation was finally abducted by aliens for real. I think he may have actually really got abducted. So that could have happened. We're not going to pretend like it didn't. Hello, Amy. Thanks for coming into the stream. Adriana, thank you for joining us. We are 64 of 100 laps, and Enrique has given up the lead to the 31 of Richard Holland. And Richard Holland and the 31 has reassumed it. Are we going to see a crossover right here? 10 takes a look at the bottom. Not enough momentum to do anything with it as the 10's working the bottom of the track. Back there to the 14 in the third spot. $14 in the third, 84 right there behind him. Brandon Winning in the fourth spot, so the 14 able to get around the 84. And the 3 car is able to make the pass on the 29 and move up to the 5th position right here. So that McBrayer Truckin' number 3 of Hal Lamy is going the right direction 65 laps in. You got that right, Denise. I think Nation might have officially been abducted by aliens. I don't even want to think about what they're doing to the poor feller. Have you heard some of the alien abduction stories? What happens to those people? Oh, Nation's probably enjoying it anyway, right? There's Jacob Miracle's 29 car running back here in the 6th spot. 81, the other McBrayer Trucking car right there. There were supposed to be a couple of other ones out here. And the 01 was one of them, of Nation. But we see Nation did not. He did not make the race, so he must have definitely been abducted by aliens or Elon, one or the other. So we're going to find the 27 back here working on the back of the 81. That's Tyler O'Brien driving the 27 car. And he's going to be one of the Mop Motorsports drivers. Yes, they can. We can move all those votes to Tim McBrayer. McBrayer was the number 25. Occasionally he ran the 51, but for most of his racing, in league racing, he was the 25. It was really neat to see his family and especially his granddaughters when they started coming into his streams, and we're talking about Tim McBrayer. When they started coming in there, it was really, really neat, and it really meant a lot to Tim, and that was the whole reason he done it. I mean, he told us that the whole reason he done it was So his grandkids had something they could go watch and maybe get to know their grandpa a little better, or just to be able to see and hear their grandpa. And I know even for his friends like Hal and I and Nation and Mason Weitzel, another friend of his, Garrett Robinson, Don Kidder, and anyone else, we always have that channel that we can go back to and we can hear Tim. We don't have, obviously, what we want, and that's Tim McBrayer. We have the channel to go back to, but it's not the same in that respect. If you go back to a lot of those videos, you're going to hear Hal or you're going to hear me in that stream with him. And I think that it was a combination of what Tim meant to his friends and how those streams went off that really was a hit for him. And man, that guy, even at his age, he did a ton of streaming. He would stream for hours at a time. Some might say because of what I contributed to that in the early days that I created a monster. I believe Tim was like 66 years old, maybe, or 67. When we started doing that, I can't remember. It was funny, though. So this guy right here, 1.3 seconds lead with 27 laps to go now. Richard Holland is setting a pace around Charlotte. He's going to put the 10 car of Enrique back here to the P2 spot. The Tide Ride had to lead for a little bit. He has given it up since, and I believe the leader is getting smaller out that 10's windshield. So we'll go back to third. We're going to find that 14 right here of Jeff Martin. Short field, so not a long field to go through. We'll get through it pretty quickly as they're going to come up with 25 laps to go right here. Or 26, something like that. Fourth place, Hal Amy, right here in the 3 is going to pick up another spot, move up to P4. So Hal is on the move in the 3 car, and no better time to do it than late in the race right here. 26 to go at Charlotte. It is a 1.5 mile track, but it's go time. If you're sitting back here anywhere outside of the top 3 or 4, and you're a couple seconds behind the leader, it's time to pick up the pace and get going. We go back to the 5th spot. We're going to find a mop car right here. That's the 29, Jacob Miracle. Miracle, O'Brien, and Parker, and I believe that 29 might have just tapped the outside wall coming out of turn 2 back there. He kept it going in the right direction, and he's had a little bit of trouble with that thing getting loose and about the center of the corner on him. We've seen that a couple of times. And I seen a car on pit road, and that might be Enrique. It is the 10 car right here with a little bit of fuel strategy maybe. He's going to short pit right here. Must be right inside the pit window as the 10's on pit road. You see Winning leaving pit road, so he pitted a little sooner, and then we go back and find Steve Blankenship also leaving pit road in the 9th spot. So Holland is your leader, 24 laps to go. Short pitting is happening. We've seen the 10 and the 84 both on pit road. Thank you, Samantha and Danielle. If there's one thing I know right now, that feller he's up there somewhere watching this race tonight. Thank you, Jake. And Tim's also shaking his head at me. I can't believe Vern's telling all them stories. Somebody just hit the pit barrier hard. They hit it so hard, I think it knocked the wind out of me. Man, I don't know who did it. Oh, no. I'm sure it happened on a pit road entry. Fire time. We got to burn it down with some fire. I wasn't ready for that. There's no caution, but I have to see what happened here. Well, 3-car made it in clean. Somebody got the tire barrier, and I'm not kidding. They hit it a ton coming into pit road. So we are nationless tonight. He has been abducted by aliens is the official story. And we're sticking to it. So the nation's been abducted by aliens. 31's on pit road. 21 to go. Leaders on pit road. Probably going to hand the lead over to either the 84 or the 10. We'll see how this works out because they've been out for a few laps on fresh tires here. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty right here. Short pitting, doing whatever you have to do could make the difference in running first and fifth at this point. So these guys are going to try it, but the real winner of this race tonight, we truly know would be the 25, who's also clearly leading the driver of the day votes. Richard Holland going to rejoin the racetrack right here, and I'm right. Enrique has the lead. We're going to let the time shake out a little bit. But you can see there's nobody really around the 10 car. 7.5 second lead, Richard Holland. Not Richard Holland. Enrique, 7.45 seconds over Richard Holland in the 31. You got Jeff Martin back there a little ways. I think Jeff is 12 seconds. No, 5 seconds. 5.5 behind Richard Holland. And then Hal Amy's about 1.3 back behind Jeff Martin. And then a half a second behind Hal, you got the 84 right here, Brandon Winning. So Hal's in the 4th spot, but, man, Enrique's got a little bit older tires. We're going to have 17 to go when we get to the line. Can he hold on? With 17 laps remaining, 6.5 second lead for Richard Holland. So it's went down, or for Rick Vagone, and the lead has went down a second in the last lap. And if it continues to go down about a second a lap, Enrique might be in trouble. You won't find that UFO right now, Denise. Nation's in it. Knowing Nation, he probably hijacked their UFO after they abducted him. And he's flying all over the galaxy right now. So when another Guardian of the Galaxies comes out, Nation will be in it. 5.3 seconds. That lead is going away in a hurry for Enrique. He turned a 31.3 to Richard Holland's 30.680. Holland has got about 5 lap fresher tires than Enrique has. Enrique's working on 9 laps on his tires. You can see Holland back there in the picture now. 4.9 seconds is the lead. 15 laps to go. There's Richard Holland. 31 car. Back in third a little ways is going to be the 14 of Jeff Martin. Man, I'll tell you what, if I could get in there, I'd throw a caution and bunch this field back up for you. I'd throw one for debris, like NASCAR would do. I'd call it a debris caution, but we'd get it done. There's Jacob Miracle right there in the 29. He's running in the 6th spot. Brandon Winning's in the top 5. Got Tyler O'Brien right there in 7th. Michael McCauley in the McBrayer truck in 81 sitting back here in the 8th spot. And your last car on the track is going to be 9th place Steve Blankenship, and he's technically not on the track. Just like that 6-hour race when I tried to lift that dude's race car, huh, Jeremy? I learned all that from Nation, by the way. Man, I'll tell you, if we'd been streaming that, Jeremy, people would have. We could have probably gotten, I don't know, 10 or 15 million viewers off that video. Running a 6-hour race, and Steve and Jared Cox and them, Brandon Winning, asked me to be on their team, and I'd done it before, and it's team driving, and so I went into iRacing, and I joined the session with them, and I joined with their team. And iRacing shuffled it around and put me on someone else's team in this 6-hour session. So when we went to switch drivers, on a pit stop, I think it was Brandon Winning in the car, and I went to get in the car. And I kept getting in the car, and they kicked me out. And I get in the car, I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm trying to get in the car, don't kick me out of it. So I get in the car again, and I get ready to go, and it kicked me out. And then I hear some dude come across the radio, some guy's trying to steal our car. It was me. I was getting in the wrong car and trying to take the wrong car away. Thank you, Mary. It was funny. That shit was funny, Jeremy. I didn't do it on purpose, though. I was trying to do a legitimate driver change. But getting back to this race, we have 10 laps to go. And that 7.5-second lead is down to a 1.3-second lead. As Richard Holland has done everything but completely caught his teammate. Now, on the other side of that, how much was the 10 back down saving tires, or did he? We'll find out right here through the lap times, about 7/10 faster the last lap. This time to 31. Oh. That's about 0.8 of a second faster the last lap. So the 10 car is just trying to hang on, and I don't think there's going to be enough laps left for him to do it. That 31 is coming in a hurry. Richard Holland, 5-lap fresher tires, and that man is on a mission. He will not be denied. 8 to go as they cross the line. Holland's there, and he turns them. Gets into the back of the 10, and the caution flag is out. Wow. There might be some fireworks in that room right now. Two teammates putting on a little action in Charlotte for you. And we're going to do it with fire. We're going to burn it down real quick for you. I want you to see that action again and remind you as we watch this replay that this may have actually taken place between teammates. Don't judge. So here we go, watching the 31 as he is closing up in a hurry. And he closed up in a hurry, too. You're going to see him work around the 27 right there of Tyler O'Brien. And he's going to close real fast on the 10. And the 10's going to cut down, and they're just going to make contact. 31 in the outside wall, 10 in the outside wall. And what do they say when you get a caution late? Well, that kind of changes everything. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for the vote, and thanks for coming in here to the stream tonight. I think I'd been saying water towards the later part of the season, but water just don't sound as good as fire does, so we're gonna keep the fire. Plus, that's what our overlays are. They're not. If Nation makes them water, then we can do water. But as long as they're fire, then they're going to be fire. So the 31's going to take it to pit road. The 10 is, of course, going to take it to pit road because his right front tire's knocked way out of tow. And he's got a fast repair, so that worked out. One of the drivers right here is going to gamble a little bit. That's the 14 of Jeff Martin, and he's going to stay out on the racetrack. So I don't know if we're done with cautions here or not, but he's going to do the right thing and keep her out on the track. The morning tee. 14 ride right there. Refuel. Energy and nutrition on the hood of that car. They must make the morning tea. I think he said that has something to do with his sister. Hal Amy going to come out in the P4 spot right there in the number 3 car. The McBrayer Trucking number 3 car going to come out P4 for this restart. He's going to have Holland up there in second, Enrique in third, Jeff Martin's your leader, Hal Amy fourth, Jacob Miracle fifth. Brandon Winning sixth in 84 car right now. Seventh place is going to be the 81 of Michael McCauley, and eighth is the 27 of Tyler O'Brien. And then back in ninth is going to be that number 8 of Steve Blankenship. So that's your 9 cars that are still in the server here in the race tonight. And we're going to have a good finish. If I could have had the controls, I would have probably thrown the caution myself, which would have saved the teammates from getting together there. But luckily, those guys had some fast repairs, so they were able to go down pit road and get their cars fixed up. And we got some cars with, new cars after their fast repair. We got some guys on no tires. I don't know if we got guys on 2 tires or not, but the 14 definitely didn't go down pit road this time. So he's got 16 laps on his tires, and those other guys got fresh tires right off pit road. So we are going to get ready to go green one more time right here in the Tim McBrayer Memorial Race at Charlotte tonight. He loved this car and he loved this track. Oh, man, and I almost forgot the best story about him. So he was a teammate of mine at another league, and I wanted to get him a win really bad. So we were at Daytona, and him and I had been working together in practice on drafting and stuff. And other people had noticed that Tim would start humming a lot. Nobody could figure out. They were like, why is Tim humming? Why is Tim humming? So this went on for about a week or two, and we're in Daytona, and I'm like, all right, Tim, here's how it's going to go down. I said, I'm going to put my bumper on yours, and I'm not going to start pushing until we get to the front of this field. And there's like 35 cars in this field. It's a big field. And he said, okay, Vern, let's do it. So I'm pushing him up through the field, and the closer we got to the front, he just started humming louder and louder and louder. And I'm like, what in the hell is he humming about? And the humming got louder, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'll be damned if we just didn't, the whole field didn't wreck, literally. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I go back and I look at it, and I seen what happened, and I figured out what the humming was. He would hum when he got nervous. And the more I pushed him to the front of that field, the more nervous he got. And as we got up closer to the front, he just couldn't take it no more, and he made a mistake, and we all wrecked. So that story was funny. I learned at that point in time that he hummed when he got nervous. And pace car's in. We're going to get a restart right here with 3 to go when they get to the line, and Jeff Martin took off, and that's going to allow the 10 car to take off of Enrique right here. And Enrique is going to get around the 31 of Richard Holland. But Jeff Martin really impressive on these warm tires right here. He's actually going to pull about 4 or 5 car lengths as the 31's going after the 10. Man, that race for second, I don't know if, Enrique tried to give it all he got, but he's not going to be able to hold the 31 back off right here. Richard Holland's going to go to second. And now he's going to set his sights with 2 to go on the 14 of Jeff Martin. I would imagine if I'm Jeff Martin, I'm going to make that car about 50 feet wide right here. But Richard Holland's going to go on the high side. Enrique might go in the middle. We're going to have 1 to go when they get to the line. They're making it look like coming out of turn 4 that we're coming up to the checkered flag when we're in fact coming up. There's the caution. Man, Enrique, if you don't think he was in on, if you don't think he was in it to win it, watch what happened to his car. This is how hard he was driving it. We're going to burn it down with fire, and you're going to see exactly how hard that 10 was driving. This is insane. Watch him through the corner. This guy was wheeling it. He pushed it so hard the car gets loose and it catches and just snaps him in the wall. I believe that was the 29 of Miracle, Nowhere to Go. He's going to be broken after contact and then subsequently contact with the outside wall. This race isn't over. We're going to have a green-white checker, and that's how the Memorial race is going to go down. It's going to go down with a green-white checker. This fight is not over. Man, the 81 of McCauley is still stuck in the wall. That McBrayer trucking car, lots of damage right there on the right side. And I think he's finally going to get her out of the wall. And it might have been the 27 of O'Brien that really took a hit as he's dropping through the field. And you can look at the front of the, yeah, that was the 27 car that drove into the back of Enrique. Oh, the steering's broken on the 81 in front of him. That car don't want to turn, and Hal Lamy in the 3 car is going to bring it to pit road. He don't look like he's got any damage, though, so he might just be taking advantage of some 4-tire deal here. And we're going to get back live on the field and go back to the front where the 14. I'll tell you what, Hal bringing it down pit road might not have been a bad idea right there. I think McCauley needs to bring that 81 car down the pit road because I don't know if anyone's told him, but his left front tire is not working. He's trying to get there. The car just wouldn't turn to get there. So there he is trying to work that car. I believe he's got no control over one of his tires for steering. And he's going to get the 81 McBrayer trucking car to pit road. You see Hal Lamy's 3 car right there. We'll have to see how it all sorts out with McCauley on pit road. And the leader, though, he didn't pit this time. That's the 31 of Richard Holland. 21 of Jeff Martin. I'm not real sure why he did not pit because he has got 21 laps on his tires. So I think pitting would have been the right thing to do, but that's not going to happen. This will be our only green-white checker tonight. So whatever happens, we'll end it. Man, I sure hope Nation's all right after spending I don't know how many hours now with E.T. Abducted by aliens, Nation 01. That's what we're going to go with tonight. If he missed the Tim McBrayer Memorial race, then he obviously was abducted by aliens. Nation had a 01 car. He even put a video in here. He done a short video, about a 4-minute video of the in memory of Tim McBrayer. A few laps for an old friend at his favorite track is what Nation said. And that's on Nation 01 YouTube page. I can actually probably copy that link and we'll try that. See if I can paste it in here. Yep. Jeff, you're right. That's what they'd be doing to him. Probing him in all kinds of different spots. So we are 2x2, getting ready for a restart. You should have went in and took tires, Jeff, while I got you in here chatting. You got Holland's got 6 laps on his. Winning's got 6 on his. You got, I believe, Tyler O'Brien and Hal Lamy, but O'Brien's got a lot of damage, but that 3 car's on fresh tires back there. So the 3's on fresh. There's 3 laps to go right here in the Tim McBrayer Memorial Race. And this is something that we'll do once a year at this time at WFO Racing League in honor of our old friend Tim and Tim McBrayer, and it was great to be able to share some of those stories with you. And there's many more stories, that's what I'm telling you. There's many more, and there's not enough time. But through the years, as we do these races, I'll come up with different stories. But right now, we're going to finish this one. And we got about 5 cars on the racetrack going green flag and racing right now. Richard Holland wasting no time. He doesn't waste any time on these restarts. He goes after it. And on a green-white checker, that's what you have to do. We're going to keep an eye on that 3 car, though. He's on fresh tires. But he's caught up in traffic back here a little bit as he's trying to work around the 27. And, man, it might be a little bit too late as Hal Lamy moves to the 5th spot. Maybe the 4th spot. Have to be the 5th spot. And we're going to go back to the front of the field where this guy has taken the white flag. Richard Holland in the 31. Going for it. He's got a 6.677 6/10 of a second lead. Almost 7/10 through 3 and 4 for the last time. Out of turn 4 through the tri-oval. Your winner is going to be Richard Holland in the 31. And look at that. The 84 winning going to come across the line second. Hal Lamy caught him, but not quite in time. And, man, we got a mess of a wreck at the end of this thing. Crazy finish. Hal Lamy going to bring it home in the 4th spot in the McBrayer trucking machine. McCauley was 7th in the other McBrayer trucking machine, but he was disconnected there at the end. I think his car was finished after we seen it wouldn't turn. What a 100-lap race here at Charlotte tonight. I'm really, really happy to be able to put these on every year. Same time every year for Tim the trucking legend, Tim the farming legend on YouTube, our friend Tim McBrayer. Who am I kidding? For the most part, he was our brother, Tim McBrayer. You see Holland's going to burn it down. Special memory for Tim right here. Wants to do the burnout right. Hal Lamy down there in the 3 McBrayer trucking car. Bringing it home 4th place there. He's going to burn it down too. You tell me how you can smoke your tires in the grass. Well, they've been working on getting the damage straightened out, but I really don't think it's possible to smoke your tires in grass, but that 3 car was doing it. That's for you, Tim. All right, we'll get a couple of interviews. I don't think we're going to do the full thing tonight, but we'll get a couple in here. Actually, instead of me moving, I'll just move down there. I won't move them here. I'll move down there.
You fucking dickhead. I was 8 seconds ahead of fucking Jeff. I had him covered.
Yeah, I know it.
Richard Holland, what's up, buddy?
Sure.
Man, you got it done out there. It looked like you and the teammate were having a little bit of fun before that, though. A little bumper tag going on and whatnot. And
yeah. He didn't think I was going fast enough, so he figured he'd maybe push me.
Yeah.
Well,
It worked for a second, but after that, it didn't work.
you guys will be happy to know we figured out what happened to Nation tonight. He was abducted by aliens.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
We knew that.
And
Yeah.
he's
That's,
probably enjoying being probed right now.
I was going to say, that's no longer a mistake that happens.
I hope that alien's fingers are fucking 20 inches long.
So
the
Richard,
rednecks and not go pick up the Democrats or something. I don't get
could we get that lucky, Jeff?
no.
Exactly. Richard Holland, congratulations on the win, buddy. You won the Tim McBrayer Memorial Race right here at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight. And man, I'll tell you what, we had the fans tuned in for this one, man.
That's awesome, man.
I got out of there. I was going to look at that 3-wide wreck.
I wanted to win it, represent Tim there. Like I was telling the guys earlier, I didn't know him, obviously, but if he was a friend of you guys's and you guys said he was a good guy, I got a pretty good idea I probably would have liked him. So wanted to win this one just to represent him and what this race was all about.
Yeah, that was the whole thing behind it. And any of you, and Hal will tell you the same thing. Tim was a friend to everybody he met, was he not, Hal?
Yes, he was.
I mean, everybody the guy met, and he was innocent in most things, most of the shenanigans that went down in his stream, and when he was around us, because we can be troublemakers doing that stuff sometimes, and it was good times. I got to tell some stories tonight, so I appreciated those guys watching the stream and enjoying that with me. But man, you guys put on a show tonight. I didn't.
Well, we got into the 46 there on like lap 1 and turned him. I don't know what happened. I just did what I was doing in practice. I didn't really get much of a chance to practice a lot and race around other people, so I don't know where people were lifting and whatnot, but I guess I drove it in a little deeper in 3 than he did, or got back in the throttle sooner than he did, I guess, and I just ran over him getting into 3. I did feel bad about that. It ruined his race. He was the pole setter leading the race at the time, and felt bad about that. I didn't mean to do that at all. And then later in the race, got into Rick then. That was just a product of, he had 2 tires and pitted 5 laps sooner, and I was just gaining on him so much faster. And I actually thought Rick was going to stay high. And when I entered into that corner, I was low because of the 27. And then he kind of came down, and I had so much momentum on him, there was nothing I could do. But
Hey, it
Could have
happens.
used the fucking brake, but he didn't.
There ain't no.
You could have used a blinker.
Yeah.
His second run over tonight. What a guy.
Yeah, you
Only
could.
been thinking I was going to wreck him all night. He got me first.
Them damn blinkers don't work that good on that ARCA car. But Hal Lamy, top 4 finish right here tonight.
yeah, Hal had a good run.
Fresh tires at the end. Did you get held up a little on that restart, Hal?
Yeah. I was in too high a gear.
You think you might have did something with them if you hadn't got held up with them fresh tires, buddy?
I don't know. Ricky and Richard were fast.
Man, it looked like you caught that. You were running the 14 and them down up there, though.
I cut Hal off on purpose.
Yeah, you fucker, you did too.
You had to. He was coming on those fresh tires, so you had to close the door on the fella. But, man, I'll tell
knew
you,
he was gonna.
that paint was looking good on the broadcast tonight. 3-car in the
Cool.
81. Loving that McBrayer trucking paint, and, man, I hope the aliens return, Nation. I really do.
When they're done with him, they'll bring him back.
But
There's no way they'll.
I would ask if he'd ever be right again, but was he ever right to begin with? No.
No,
So
God, no.
we probably don't have to worry about them damaging Nation, right? We probably have to worry about Nation damaging them.
Probably.
So my question is, who's probing who? Are the aliens probing Nation, or is he probing them?
Sounds like a good Alan Jackson remake.
That's a good question.
Exactly.
Who's probing who?
We know who's probing who and who's probing you. All right.
Tell me you got that burnout on the broadcast.
I got yours and Hal's.
Deal.
Hal did
I
one
didn't
too.
get to do one. I didn't get to do one. I wrecked Brandon on purpose.
I seen that too. Hal actually was able to smoke his tires in the grass, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Talented.
Maybe it's imitation grass on concrete.
It might
Maybe.
be. Maybe they painted the concrete. You're probably right, Jeff. They painted the concrete to look like grass right there.
Pretty sure I saw somebody doing a burnout on the barrels earlier in the race.
Yeah.
That was Hal too.
Well, one was Blankenship. I went down Pit Road and railed the wall.
Was it Hal?
It was how I come by and saw somebody sitting on top of the barrels. And
That
I said,
was
"Who the fuck is
Blankenship.
sitting on top of the barrels.
Who was up?
Oh no, but that would have been awesome if we would have saved that 3 wide. We were 3 wide.
Who was on the barrels? Was it Blankenship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
He's on
happened
the
to him
hottest
then.
Road in NASCAR right now.
I'm surprised that didn't bring out a caution when he hit them. I seen him hit them, but I couldn't get back to him quick enough.
He was off the track and he wasn't on pit road. He was in nowhere land right in the middle.
That was crazy. Well, at least it wasn't Hal on the barrels. But
No, I went down Pit Road. Bam.
I think it was Macaulay, one of those cautions before that.
Right over.
That feller couldn't get to pit road because his car wouldn't turn.
Yeah, I seen that.
He had the steering broken and he couldn't get it down the pit road. So there was some crazy stuff that happened, but everybody survived, and few people wrecked each other, but they're not in here killing each other, so that worked out pretty good.
Nobody was pissed either. We were all laughing.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have an admin.
Get Macaulay up here. Michael Macaulay, you there?
I got you, just working.
I think you broke the steering on that car, didn't you?
Oh, I did. It was busted. It would go any direction.
It wouldn't go any direction. How'd you get it to pit road?
I don't know. I hit it off the wall, bounced off the wall, and it went.
And did I hear you say that you were working?
Yeah, I'm working right now.
So you're working and you were racing on iRacing?
You get
Kinda.
paid for this?
I can work remotely, so I can do both.
Oh,
That's next level shit.
Vern,
Semi-talented.
Yeah.
Andrew Williams.
Oh no, but I think that would have been cool if we'd have saved that McCall.
That would have been awesome.
Andrew Williams works at a multi-million-dollar company, and he has a steering wheel at work on his desk that he races from.
I knew that. He had told us that before. That's crazy, man. And then you got Macaulay working from home and remotely working, and he's in his rig racing. You don't
I got
have.
wrecked. And I was like, well, I might as well run to my computer real quick.
Can you just see Macaulay doing customer service calls while he's racing?
Well, he's the only driver in here to get paid in iRace, so.
Well, all you need to do,
Yeah.
he can just give him one of the man-made fuckers that talk to you for an hour, and he could finish the race and then answer the call.
There you go.
You just put them on hold. You just put them on hold. I'll be back with you in 5 minutes.
I think
I'll be back with you in 5 laps.
Yeah, or just put them back in the queue.
Yeah, put him back in the queue.
Michael McCoy, can I help you? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. My fucking steering's broke. They're like, what?
Anybody that races on a desk, I don't have a rig. I got a desk and a nice, comfortable chair, racing chair. Has anybody ever pulled their steering wheel off during the middle of a race and had to sit it in your lap till the fucking caution came
More
out?
than one time.
I've nailed mine to the
Yeah.
day.
I
And
did that too with my shifter, pulled down into second and just pulled it right off.
ripped it right off the fucking desk, and then my pedals, I had to finally put a strip behind them to keep them from moving. But I used to push my damn gas and brake so hard that it pushed my pedals away, and I'd have to keep scooting down in the chair to reach my pedals the whole race. And by the end of the race, I was laying under the fucking desk, literally, with my hands on the steering wheel.
Hat sideways like you're in an Impala.
Exactly. All laid back, man. And it's crazy to think back like of all that happening. I feel your pain racing at the desk. I really do.
What I did was where it connects underneath the desk, I cut a big square where my steering wheel is. Inside just a little bit, and my shifter, I drilled a hole where this G27 connects to the desk, so now it don't move.
Yeah, one of my buddies did that. He's like, Vern, you just need to fucking drill holes and bolt it to your desk. And I thought about it. I thought about it, Jeff, and I thought, you know what? I was on Rick Motec's website, and I looked at that RS1 cockpit that you can buy plans for. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to build one of them. And that's what I did.
I have another buddy that drilled a hole right through the clamps and drilled a screw through the clamps to hold it.
That's funny. There's people do some crazy stuff for their sim racing. But I spent many years before I built a rig, and when did I build a rig? How, like 17 or 18? And I started sim racing
probably.
back in the fucking 90s. So I spent.
I wasn't around racing then. I didn't start in 2013, so I can only imagine what iRacing was like back then.
Man, I'm telling you guys, and I told this story before. Hell, I've even put a link in the wheel I had. The first wheel I got was called an Interact V3. And it literally, the way this wheel was made, it had a steering wheel and then a longer column that had a pad underneath of it that you set underneath your legs. So the column and the wheel literally come up between your legs. You know what I mean? And then
you can't pull back hard.
No, you couldn't. And you had the two little cheap-ass plastic pedals that went with it. Kind of what come with the fucking Driving Force GT. Those pedals.
What were the graphics like, though? I've never even seen iRacing when it started.
Back in the day, they were janky. Just like any old game that you see. But for the most part, when you got into the racing games, even in the 90s, for the time, the graphics were cutting edge. Simulations, the graphics, even on Papyrus, man. When you would see the different versions of it, like when we went from NASCAR 1 to 2 to 3, or actually 99 edition, and then the NASCAR Racing 3, then NASCAR Racing 4, and then what was there, 2001, 2, and 3?
I didn't start that till NASCAR 12 or 13 or whatever, and then my kids got my
12 or 13.
Yeah, then my kids got my Xbox when I started iRacing, and I've never seen that again. So,
well, if anyone that's seen NASCAR Racing 2003, a lot of the tracks that were on that look very similar to iRacing's version of that track, and there's a reason for that. Because iRacing's version of the track is the same code, basically. iRacing ended up buying, as far as I understand, all the old code from Papyrus. So they own that, and that the early days of iRacing, some of the stuff is still the same, but a lot of stuff has changed. You know what I mean?
They should add NHRA. They've done everything else. Why not?
Well, they've talked about it for years, but I don't know. Maybe they're working on something. Who knows? I never thought they'd bring dirt to it. I really didn't.
It just took so long to perfect the dirt that took a while.
Ratbag and them and R Factor did it for years.
It all depends on the sport it's gained, so throw your suggestion in a box. Maybe it'll fucking stick.
Well, dirt.
I gotta go.
Dirt and local racing has gained a lot of popularity, especially the past few years, 4 or 5, and counting. And I think that had a lot to do with it, was the movement going back to the short tracks like that and local fans. But on the same side of that, NASCAR was always big money, so they were, it made sense to go after the big money. And they did. I think iRacing done a good job as far as that goes and all the marketing and stuff. I mean, that's one thing that I tell anyone this, from 2008 beta to now, the biggest change I've seen is members. The count, go up. When I started, there was literally hundreds of us, if that. You know what I mean? When you went and raced day in and day out, you were running the Legend car at South Boston or at Lanier, and you were racing the same people all the time. You see what I mean? And then when it opened up to the public, and as time went on, hell, up until 2010 or 11, I felt like every time I got in an official race, I was in with the same people every time. And then when it grew, and especially in the last couple of years, it's just blown up so much that I don't even hardly recognize names when I go into those open rooms for practices and stuff anymore. I don't even know who most of the people are. You know what I mean? And it felt like at one time in the community, in the iRacing community, I knew everyone. Tim McBrayer, the memorial race was for him tonight, and to go back on a little bit of story there, Tim was on iRacing for a long time, and he was funny as heck. He was always funny, and he was on iRacing for a long time, and he used to get into those in the open races that I would be in, and that's how I met him for the first time years ago. And then he joined a league that I was in, and he become, what did the league owners say there, Hal? He was the mascot?
Yeah.
So he called him the mascot over there, and I told the humming story at Daytona when I was pushing him to the front. He'd get nervous and start humming. Remember that? So I told that story when we wrecked at Daytona because he got nervous humming, and I was pushing him to the front, and he got nervous, and we wrecked it, and I think the best story ever was the lighting for the green screen, Hal.
Yeah.
The dude got a suntan on his head over it, didn't he?
Ooh, it's hot in here.
Is it a great story?
He got a suntan on his head, and he's not completely guilty in all of that. In Tim's defense, I give him the link to purchase that stuff. Every time he would come to me and say, I need a green screen, or I'll never forget, though, when he come to me about upgrading that computer to do streaming with on YouTube. And he sent me his specs. I told him what to do to send me the specs, and he sent them to me, and I'm like, that fucking computer, I don't even know how you're playing iRacing on it. That's what I told him. So I wanted to make it as inexpensive as possible for him. So I literally went through and I found him a cheap processor to upgrade to. And I remember the graphics card. You probably do too, how it was a GTX 1050. You remember that?
Yep.
4 gig model. He loved that fucking thing, and he still had it in his computer at the end, did he not?
Yep.
So he streamed with that for years, but man, it just so many memories. If it hadn't been for Tim, Hal and I would have never met.
Yep, that's a fact.
That was in his stream that happened, and Hal asked me how he get going in iRacing, and we got you going, and it's history since then, isn't it, Hal?
Well, I didn't even have a PC. When
you didn't
met
have
Tim.
nothing.
Nope.
Well,
I didn't have. I played on PS4 then.
What were you watching YouTube on? PS4?
Yeah, and I met Tim. And then he was streaming iRacing one night, and I said, how do you do that? So then he told me, and I went and bought a PC, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and the fun fact right here, Hal's first race, I was the admin, and I parked Hal from his first race.
Yeah,
That's a fun fact for you.
that happened.
But we knew the deal going into it. And it was
Wow, they were in a chase.
right, and I wanted to get you seat time.
Right.
That way you got used to racing around people, and I wanted to get you seat time, and I think our stream's buffering.
I don't see it buffering.
It's buffering on my end, so I'm pretty sure that it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's YouTube doing it because I have no problem with none of my connections now. It straightened out, but I never lost any bit rate or nothing. It was perfect. But man, I mean, there's so many great stories, and we run all the viewers off, so I probably need to end the stream now and want to rest in peace, Tim. You meant a lot to a lot of people, my friend, and I don't even think that you knew. But I think he did for the most part. But he meant a lot to a lot of people, and We sure do miss you every day, buddy. And Nation 01, whatever planet you're on or whatever universe you're in right now,
Fuck you.
we hope that you're not probing too many of those aliens. And we pray for those aliens' safety and safe return for their families. And Nation will be back when he's done with them.
Right.
Maybe.
What do you think about it, Rick?
Well, I know he's just sitting around playing a game, but it's way more than that. Certainly a brotherhood behind all this, and we look out for each and every one of us, and I'd be most likely devastated if anything happened to any one of you. So that's why we do it, right? Good people.
It is. It's good people, and that's what it's about. And Nation's good person too. Those aliens would have left him alone. I'm sure he'd have been in here with us tonight. But we'll get him back for it. We'll pay him back.
Right.
Thank all of you for coming in and giving us a like. Most of you have supported us for multiple seasons over here at WFO, and we appreciate that. Thank all you guys for coming in and racing tonight. Michael McCulley, Rick Vagone, Richard Holland, Brandon Winning, of course, Hal Lamy, Steve Blankenship, Jacob Miracle, Tyler O'Brien. Ryan Libby was in here for a little while, Derek Robinson, and Jeff Martin. Thank all you guys for coming in tonight and racing in the Tim McBrayer Memorial Race. It means a lot to Hal and I. It means a lot to a lot of the fans out there that come in and looked for it. And I got one more thing to mention before I end the stream, and that was our driver of the day, driver of the 25 car, Tim McBrayer. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to interview him tonight. But hopefully we've done a good enough job telling stories for you guys that we don't have to. You can kind of imagine what his interview would be. And that ought to cover that, right, Hal?
Yeah, and you can always look him up on YouTube.
Tim the Trucking Legend, Tim the Farming Legend on YouTube. And I put a link in there to the Nation stream that he built and put in Discord earlier. So thought something would wake him up, and then I seen Denise put a couple of aliens in there, and I realized at that point that Nation wasn't going to be back for a little while. He was busy with the aliens, so we'll go with that one. But Diana, thank you. Denise, everybody that come into YouTube, Adriana, all of you. I could name too many names. Bill Spencer, another one. And Bill was chatting tonight, Hal, which is really cool.
Cool.
So I want to thank all of you. We're going to do fun races. We're not done by no means. We'll have fun races that are coming up, so I'll keep everybody posted on Facebook and everywhere else. But thank you for tuning in to the stream. This was the Tim McBrayer Memorial Race, and we appreciate each and every one of you, all the drivers, the fans, all your support for the league. But I think that's going to do it for me tonight. And thank you guys, Hal, Brandon, Richard, Rick, Michael McCauley, everyone in here.
Thank you, Vern.
Thank you, guys.
Michael McCauley, get your work done.
I'm done at shut down.
He's working and iRacing at the same time. That's called multitasking. He's good at it. That means he can technically walk and chew gum at the same time, which is good. But we're going to jump on out of here and end the stream. Thank you once again, and we'll see you. We'll see you when we see you with WFO. We're going to do fun races. We got to take a little bit of a break, but I'm going to put together a schedule where we can come in here and do fun races to keep these guys from getting too bored. And we will make sure that they are put up as a live broadcast, so you might want to tune into those. Going to have a lot of fun with it. Those will be open on iRacing, and we'll use those for recruiting. But thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next